Greet.
I just forgot. I forgot to ask who is hosting tonight.
Welcome to the Crocs podcast. I'm your host, Tim. Joining me is Matt and Roy.
Oh,
Oh
thank
no.
you. Thank you for Roy just left us. Thank you for stepping up and honoring to host us tonight. I appreciate that.
I don't
Tonight
know if I can be a part of this if we're going to call it the Croc podcast, though.
tonight we are talking about how dead Twitter is and how all hail the mighty elephant, Mastodon. Right? That's our topic.
I shared it earlier, but Ollie right here.
I can like it now. I fixed that in Ivory.
Yeah, so this is Ollie. It's one of the third-party clients that died. Super sad. So,
what is my Mastodon? I'm trying to sign into Mastodon on Windows because I haven't been using my computer since I created my Mastodon account. And
I could tell you what it is right now.
What's the
you go. It's MAST. It's MASTD.dev.
So you go there, and then that's like, oh, got it. Okay.
Yep. And then
I'm wondering why I was wondering why 1Password was not remembering my password for Mastodon.
You gotta put in the web URL.
So actually, I want to ask because Mastodon is hosted on different instances, right?
Yep.
So I'm still a little confused. How does that entirely work if it's like different instances?
So it's like it connects to the world. So it's built on Ruby's on Rails. I don't know if you know that, but Ruby's on Rails is a framework, basically, our coding language. But it's built on that. And so they developed software, and then it feeds it out to the internet, and then it picks it up basically on other servers too. So essentially it's very much like Twitter, because when you sign up for a Twitter account, you're signed into a Twitter server. Like, who knows where you're signed in at. Same thing with most social media companies and stuff like that. But essentially they're giving you the address though. So essentially you're using your own server that's communicating with other servers that are also running Mastodon. Does that make sense? So it's communicating to other servers that are running the Mastodon server software, basically. And there's tools in there and stuff that you can like block servers. So I can go in there as the admin to our server and say, hey, I don't want anybody on this server to communicate with this server, and basically block that server out. Mastodon does that on a bunch of their servers and stuff like that. So it gives you that ability to block content that's coming from those servers that might be spamming or whatnot,
Got it. And that's how the usernames, because on Twitter you can do @ and whatever name you want, but Mastodon it's @ your name and then whatever the server you're on.
It's @ your name. It's basically an email address, but then you put the @ in front of it. So it's your @ your username, @ your domain, and then basically that's it. But again, you don't need that if you are communicating with that on your own server and stuff like that too. You can just, or anybody that you follow. So I'll be honest, I was really confused when I first learned about it. I was like, this ain't gonna take off. Nobody's gonna do anything like this, and stuff like that. And I remember when Roy was telling me about it, I'm like, never gonna sign up for it. I'm never like, this is never gonna take off, and I mean, with third-party developers getting kicked off of the of Twitter, it's taken a big push. Phil from Apple, Schiller, signed up for Mastodon.
Is that really him?
It's really him. Yeah.
He confirmed it.
He confirmed it to a news outlet via his apple.com email address. That is totally him. I was very skeptical about it. I was like, no, I don't think this is
Yeah,
him.
that's why I
But it is
wasn't
him.
following him yet.
Yeah. No, many people were reaching out to him via email and stuff like that, and a few people posted his email thread with them, basically showing they blocked out his name on there, but they showed his apple.com domain, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's totally him, which is really cool because he deleted his Twitter account when Elon bought it, so and was done with it. And Apple has pushed Ivory so much in the App Store right now. Like, I mean, it was front and center for at least a few days. I think it still was in there, and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's really
Yeah.
picking up.
Yeah, I'm glad to see it's picking up so much because for a while, right after Elon bought Twitter, it felt like everyone was like, join this social media, everyone joins that social media, and then it's like, oh, this is going to be the next one, and everyone joins
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one,
yeah.
and it's
But
just, mm,
the thing is, and this is what I didn't like, everybody was posting their Mastodon usernames inside their Twitter profile, which then made him super pissed off. And that's when he basically said, hey, um, that's when he wanted to ban all usernames and no, you can't put any links to other social media accounts and stuff like that. And then they reversed that rule or whatever. But that basically, I think, sparked it and stuff like that. And it's now, I mean, when I signed up for Mastodon, I just went through all my Twitter users basically that I follow, and I just grabbed their username, went to Mastodon, and signed up and followed them. So, yeah. So I mean, it's really cool. And the I was a little turned off by the server ability, and stuff like that, but it kind of changed. When I learned how to, I was like, first I was like, I'm never going to be able to create my own server because I don't know Ruby's on Rail, and I just I followed the documentation and I kind of just worked my way on through it. So,
do you
um,
do you think because of the, I guess, complex setup with Mastodon, do you think that's going to limit its accessibility to people who are in tech, like people who understand tech, or do you think this is going to become the new platform that everyone's
no,
grandma joins?
because there's so many instances that you can join now. I
Mhm.
mean, if you go to join mastodon.org, I think it is, um, like, I mean, there's so many servers on there that you can pick from, that are open and ready to accept new users. So when you go to that website, I mean, that's basically taking you right there to servers that you can join and sign up for an account. And let's say you sign up for an account on there, but then you want to, move to another instant. You can basically copy and transfer your account to a new server. And
And you and I basically did
all
that.
basically did that because we signed up on one name and then I decided that I wanted to go with a different domain name, and so I set up a new instance and then basically did that. What I'm actually worried about now is doing the upgrade process because I don't want to F everything up when I do it. So I'm actually thinking about creating a test server first, and then I'm gonna do it on the test server and then do it on mine. I'll still have backups, so I can still restore from the backups, but I just want to make sure that I do it right in the first place. But
When you
um,
host Mastodon, are you hosting it on a cloud instance or local?
mhm.
Okay.
Yep, I'm using DigitalOcean, which is pretty
Okay.
common. It's a prepackaged. It made it kind of easy because it's a prepackaged installation tool on there. So I just basically went in there and installed it through their. They have like an image that you can restore it with, and then sets up a new cloud base with it already loaded on there. And then there's some back stuff I had to do, and stuff like that to like make it a little more secure and stuff. But yeah, so it's up and running, and I I'm up to like 50 followers on there now. Let's see. So I'm following 172 people, most of the people which I followed on Twitter. And then I have 62 followers, and I was only at like 40 or 30 last week or something like that. So I'm gaining followers pretty quick, and stuff like that, which is good. It really it has a very robust hashtag system in there, much better than Twitter I think does. So I put a bunch of hashtags into my profile and everything and stuff like that, so it's easier to search, and that type of thing. And then, but the hashtag API, which most of the developers I don't think fully take into consideration or whatnot, is really strong. So I'm really excited to see what developers do with that API. So, yeah, so that's basically setting up a Mastodon. So
How
yeah.
I wanted to ask Roy, since you are a very avid Twitter person and you've been using Mastodon a lot. How do you feel
Was an avid Twitter
was
user.
you were a very avid Twitter user. You became close friends with Tim Cook, which I think is a huge accomplishment. And just especially over like social media. So I just want to ask, w- how do you see Twitter competing in the state they are in right now with with the popularity rise of Mastodon?
Um, First and foremost, I don't see Twitter going anywhere anytime soon necessarily. I think the more that Elon messes with people on Twitter, or messes with the way that Twitter works for them, you'll see some people start to look for different alternatives. Those who are more tech centric and social media centric, people who use Twitter as a main means of communication or for their livelihood, influencing, so on and so on. They're the ones that are going to be affected the most now. And I see those people looking for other social media outlets. Most of them are already on other social medias to begin with. It's not like Twitter is the end of the world, but they're looking for a way to reach their base. So, if part of their base leaves Twitter, then they're going to have to, go with them as well. So right now I see, like I said, a lot more tech centric people, social media centric people leaving Twitter. The people who use Twitter casually, they're not leaving anytime soon. So it's not until Mastodon becomes more widely used by more people, that the casual person is going to leave Twitter. The great thing about Mastodon is that it works, or it can work very similarly to Twitter as far as the way that a user would utilize Mastodon. Now, they don't have to worry about the different instances as much. They just need to find the people that they want to follow on Mastodon and call it good, and it's going to work just like Twitter for them. So, as far as like more technologically illiterate people, I think they're going to find an easy time transitioning over to Mastodon. I'm currently only following 35 people on Mastodon. I check Move to fairly regularly, and every time I check, there's usually at least one more name pops in there of somebody that I followed on Twitter. So there are more people moving over, but we're gonna need quite a bit more of a following over on Mastodon to make it replace Twitter, or
I mean,
overcome Twitter.
Twitter, I think if one of the stats that I was looking at, and again, I don't know how accurate it was. Twitter had, or Mastodon had, about an active 2 million users, I think it was, at its peak, which was a couple months ago. And it did slightly drop a little bit, but I think it is actually picking back up now that some of these third-party clients are coming out. Because here's the thing: third-party clients made Twitter what it is. There was no official Twitter client when Twitter launched. And Twitter actually bought Tweety, I think it was. And Tweety became the essentially Twitter application. And they bought another one for Android, and it eventually became the same thing. So essentially, without third-party applications, I don't think Twitter would have had so much growth in the beginning and would have become as popular as it is now without them. So to be honest, Twitter third-party clients created the Twitter platform,
Oh, absolutely. You're
and
going to get the people who are very loyal to like Tapbots. The people who loved using Tweetbot were just
Yeah.
waiting for Ivory to be released on the App
Oh
Store.
yeah. It
And so
was
many people switched over when that was released.
it was so insane that day when everybody was over there, and it was fun. It was fun reading some of the comments and stuff like that too. But it truly was like, I mean, they were pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and people wanted to get into the beta. The beta was full. I mean, every other tweet though to them, or not tweet, but post to them in the mentions was, "Hey, can I get an invite to the test flight?" And if you don't know, test flight is basically the beta process for iOS applications. It's not the only way you can do, betas and stuff like that, but it's the most common way, and it's the official Apple way of doing it. And so the test flight was full, and they were just getting slammed every other day, saying, "Hey, I'd like to join the test flight beta." So, I think we're going to see that with Mastodon. I honestly think that outside of Ivory, there's so many other apps out there. I saw Tim was using Ice Cube, which I used for a little while, and stuff like that before. There's some great ones on Android and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely.
The one thing, speaking of Ice Cube, um, so the one thing that I find really weird about it is their Apple Watch integration, because every time I get any kind of notification, it just shows me a full picture of whoever liked
Oh yeah,
or
I think
favorited.
Ivory, or I think Tweetbot used to do that too. Um, so yeah,
I'll get a
I
picture of Roy's face on my watch at work in the middle of the day.
You're welcome.
yeah. Um, so I honestly think that it's gonna take off. So I think it's just a matter of time. I think it's gonna reach the amount of users that Twitter has. Probably not right away, but I think down the line. I do know that. So here's another thing you notice about Twitter versus Mastodon. Mastodon is a nonprofit organization. It's very much like WordPress. A lot of us know what WordPress is. It's an online blogging platform, and you can basically install it on your server, or you can use WordPress.com, which is the public version of it. But the software itself is a nonprofit organization, and it's developed by people who develop to that community. And then WordPress.com is basically the paid for version of it. I think we could very much see something similar to that on Mastodon and stuff. But I know that in their roadmap, I think they are working on making like paid servers so you can support servers and stuff like that you're on. You Mastodon has a Patreon. I haven't subscribed to it yet, but I do plan on subscribing to it. The founder of Mastodon, I retweeted or reposted this today. Boosted it is what they call it, as their retweet. But I boosted this today that you can actually volunteer to help Mastodon. So I signed up for that. I plan on supporting them, on a yearly basis, because in all honesty, I supported and third-party clients. I will subscribe to multiple of them on there because I want to push their integration, and I'll do the same thing with Mastodon. The same thing I did with Twitter Blue. I subscribed to Twitter Blue because I wanted to make Twitter better. And I knew that they needed to do that. So the thing is cool. You'll get the edit button for free though on Mastodon, and you won't have to pay the $8.
Something I've noticed on Mastodon, I didn't realize it until now, but just because they're nonprofit, there are no ads that I can see of
Nope.
on
No
Mastodon.
ads, and there's no politicians on there yet either.
Yeah. I wonder if
Which is
there's
really
gonna
nice.
be is there gonna be any rules to prevent politics like that?
I think it's gonna be based on
No.
instance, probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean you'll be able to block instances that have politicians on it. I'm sure we'll see like a senate.gov, some type of, Senate site where eventually that if it continues to grow as we predict it probably will, then I definitely see that happening. So one person who's been kind of quiet here is Joe, though. And Joe was kind of a big Twitter person and still is on Twitter.
Yeah, I still
What
use
are your
Twitter pretty
thoughts?
frequently. I see Mastodon as a fad, and I don't think it's going to make it longer than another year or two before it just is completely irrelevant. I think Twitter has
It's
too
been
much
out
of a
here. It's
I think Twitter has too much
Go
of a
ahead.
stranglehold on that form of medium at the moment, and I just don't see Mastodon doing anything special that really makes it outshine Twitter. Even though Elon Musk is really taking away a lot of great features, I think he's going to have to take away a whole lot more before Twitter loses relevancy.
Well, so here's the thing, and there was a comment made on somebody posted this on Mastodon. I saw it, so I just saw the screenshot of it. But somebody was thanking him for taking away all the bots, and he didn't just take away the bots. I'm sure he's lost subscribers in that, and he was like, "No problem. You're probably going to see less, um, likes on your posts and retweets on your posts and stuff like that. And you'll probably get less, views and stuff like that. But we got rid of the bots. And I don't think that's the case. I think he literally is saying that he got rid of the bots, but really what he's gotten rid of is the people who are using third-party Twitter clients, because there are so many people who are now being forced to use the Twitter client, and some of them are just like, no, this is unusable. Like, Joe, you probably used the regular Twitter client for a long time, but I mean, he forced people to use the For You timeline. He then reversed it again.
Oh, I
and
hated
stuff like
that.
that.
That was awful.
Oh yeah. And then he there was a time where he put the ad at the top of it, so every time you
That
went to
was
the
even
top of the
worse.
thing,
Oh
that was
my
even worse. I
God.
mean, look at this. Like, he's pissing people away, and that's a lot of what people were saying when they were coming to Mastodon.
You're
Like,
right on all of these fronts, and I have a whole litany of things that I hate about Elon Musk's management of the social media platform, but I just don't. I think the only people that hate it enough to leave are going to be like the very small minority.
the
And
the honest thought, like, I was totally like you, Joe. I was like, Mastodon is not going to take off. I don't think it I didn't see it doing it until I joined it. Once I joined it and I started understanding it and how it worked and everything and stuff like that, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then I started following people, and then people started following me, and then I started following more people, and then more people that I was following on Mastodon or on Twitter started coming over, and what I honestly feel like is that Mastodon is a lot like Twitter used to be at the very beginning. And like, Twitter was, I was really excited when Twitter launched and stuff like that. And it felt so much like a more friendlier community. Now, obviously, that's going to change over time because people are going to continue to, I think, migrate from it. But I'll be honest, I don't see Mastodon dying, in the next couple of years. I think it's been out for like 5 years already, and it's grown so much and stuff like that. And, there's a lot of people that are pushing for it, and especially like, Phil coming over there. Like, that was a big push for him to come over there. And if I think we see more of those people, and stuff like that, news outlets are starting to come over. We're starting to see TV stations that are either getting their own instance or joining from another instance. Most of like the tech news sites, like The Verge is on there, but it's not actually The Verge. It's a bot that just retweets their stories from there and stuff like that. So it's not affiliated with The Verge, but like 9 to 5 Mac is on there. 9 to 5 Google is on there. What is the other ones that I'm thinking of? There's a couple more. MacStories.net is on there. So, I mean, there's plenty of people that are pushing for this. So, I'll agree with you. I don't think it's going to, completely eliminate Twitter, but the more Elon Musk takes some of these features away, I feel like it's going to push people over to try it. And I think like what happened to me when I tried it, I got hooked onto it.
that's exactly. I mean, Joe kind of hit on the point that I was trying to make earlier. The average Twitter user at this point has no reason to leave Twitter. Elon's gonna have to make Twitter super unbearable for them to leave Twitter, and then in order for them to choose Mastodon as their social media outlet for that type of social media, there's going to have to be enough of the people that they want to follow on Mastodon. Now, like you said, I see more and more people join Mastodon every single day, so only time can tell if Mastodon could become bigger. I don't know if it'll ever overtake Twitter. I don't care whether it overtakes Twitter. I want it to grow and grow bigger because I would much rather use it than Twitter. But remember MySpace? MySpace and Facebook do the same exact thing when it comes to social media. And there was a time, if you would have told me that MySpace was going to be replaced by Facebook, I would have told you no way.
Yeah, exactly. And so the other thing too, that if you don't know, Medium, so medium.com was created by the co-founders of Twitter. And Medium has created its own instance, and they have been pushing it hard. Like they are trying to get their writers on there that write on medium.com and stuff like that, and they're really pushing it. The CEO of Medium actually follows me on there. So like that's a big push, and stuff like that. And now with the founders of Twitter basically being on there, besides Jack, obviously, I don't think is on there yet, but who knows? I mean, the thing is that I follow a lot of people that used to work at Twitter on there because they have their own instance, and stuff. So I follow a lot of them, and it's pushing. Like we're seeing some growth and change there. So I think it's just a matter of time before they continue to grow. And the founder of Mastodon basically too is pretty much out there, said that they're going as fast as they can, and stuff like that with what they've got. So I think it's time. They're hiring. There's a big push to hire people right now. So they're now accepting volunteers that are going to help push the community along. And honestly, that's what made WordPress really popular. And WordPress is used by like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of websites out there. Probably websites that you didn't even know were out there. CBS Radio used to use WordPress.com basically to host a bunch of their websites and stuff like that. So I very much could see big companies coming on board, and once the ability is to make money off of some of these instances, I think that could push a little more too. Have free versions and stuff too, but it'll be interesting to see how it takes off in the time. So I think we should talk a little bit about Twitter though, just in general of what happened.
They're trying to find out. It feels like Twitter's changing so much to where they're just throwing a bunch of ideas on the wall and then announcing all of them as features and just seeing which ones people actually seem to like. Like,
well, what the latest one was announced today. I mean, or well, it was mentioned today. I don't know. We don't know what's really happening around it, but they want to become a payment service to compete with Apple Pay and PayPal, which to me, like, come on, like there are so many places that failed in this that I just can't see this happening.
there's so many out there.
Yeah, there's Venmo, there's Cash App. Like, I mean, you're trying to make Twitter like a payment service. Like,
I think it's so funny. Elon Musk had his like one huge moment outside of Tesla with PayPal, and he's like, wait, what if I can do it again? What if I can just repeat it with the same exact idea?
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah, no shot.
Like, Apple Pay is pretty much dominating a lot of the web space. Like, to be honest, so this was the most painful purchase on the web that I've had in a long time. And it's because I had to enter my credit card number, and I had to enter my billing address, and I had to enter everything. And it was very painful to do. I shared my experiences with it when I bought it. But like now pretty much 99% of the websites that I purchase from it's all through Apple Pay. It's Apple Pay. Sometimes I'll use Amazon Pay if Apple Pay is not available, but for the most part, like I don't give out my credit card number over the internet anymore unless it's something that I really wanted.
If I can Apple Pay or PayPal, you've won me over. Like 99% of the time,
Yeah.
if there's that button there, I will hit that. I mean, why not? The convenience and the security is all built in.
Exactly. And like, like Twitter is Twitter. It's not a payment service. Like what's
Who
next?
uses Facebook Pay?
Nobody, well, it's not even called Facebook Pay. It's called Meta Pay now, but
Well,
same
whatever it's called.
same thing. It's not popular. It's not hitting it off. What about all these like, what was it? No, not Concur. It's Concept C or something like that. It was pushed by the banks to try and compete with like Apple Pay and stuff like that. It's supposed to be the digital form of payment approved by the banks or whatever and promoted by the banks and all the major banks and no, sorry, it wasn't the banks. It was the grocery stores and the big box retailers. Like Walmart was behind it, Kroger was behind it, those type of things, and it just didn't work. Like, and it went out of business, And now the banks are trying to push this. They're trying to push a new mobile payment service like PayPal, and stuff like that.
Zelle.
I just like Zelle, yeah, or something like that, similar to it. I don't think it's I don't think it's going to be called that, but it's going to be something similar to that. And it's just like,
And
nobody's gonna.
another thing I was thinking about is okay, let's say Twitter goes through and actually releases this stupid service. So is it gonna be like publicly tweeting, hey, I just gave Roy $10, and if that's
like
gonna be the
Venmo.
case, yeah, is that gonna be the case? Or
You have to
or-
put the little emoji in there, what it's for or something.
and then is it like eventually is it just gonna turn into making Twitter into even more of a scam, being like, follow me and I'll tweet you $3,500? Like, isn't this like against everything Elon's been pushing of less spam? Like, I feel like this is gonna create more spam.
Yeah, I think it's gonna do nothing but create spam and create fraud, out there.
I mean,
so
I absolutely hate when I go into Venmo to Venmo someone and you can see the entire list of what people have Venmoed and why they've Venmoed. Why is this a thing? I don't care what people are spending their money on. I don't care what my friends are paying each other for whatever they're paying each other for. It's stupid. If Twitter turned into that, I would hate Twitter even more.
Yeah, it's like Venmo. Yeah.
I don't use Venmo that much. I have Venmo and I have Cash App. Those are the two things that I do for like when I sell something, off Facebook Marketplace or something. I don't use Meta Pay. I'll pay with either Apple Pay, Venmo, or Cash App. Those are the things that I do. I'm not planning on getting another service. I don't even have PayPal, but I think PayPal does actually own Venmo, or there's some type of relationship there. But yeah, I just don't plan on. I don't plan on getting a PayPal account or ever using PayPal. And if Twitter comes out with another service, I don't plan on ever using it to pay for it. But yeah. So anyways, but hey, maybe next month we'll find out that Twitter's actually going to start delivering food to your house.
Or
anybody
Or
want to take a bet? Anybody want to take a bet on if they're going to do food delivery?
I think they're going to do ride sharing. Like, you need to fly somewhere, Twitter Fly, and like you can just store the fly somewhere.
Okay, this is a throwback, but what about Twitter Ice? Twitter's gonna have an ice delivery system.
Sure. Is it
Roy,
going to be called Ice by Air? We can't hear you, Roy, by the way. Is it going to be called Ice by Air?
Yeah, something like that. They'll figure it out.
Drone service delivering you ice. You heard it here, at least.
I'm sure Elon specifically listens to this podcast and heard that idea.
Well, he can't buy icebyair.com because I actually own icebyair.com.
Gonna come to you
awesome
to buy it.
You're gonna make so much money
I know. I'll sell it. Icebyair.com. Make me an offer. Sell me Twitter and I'll give you Ice by Air.
I'll trade you.
I'll trade
I
you.
want to
Twitter,
see what
Twitter
happens.
Twitter.com for Ice by Air. There you go.
That's a
That'll be
steal
it.
as far as I'm concerned.
the $12 I paid for Ice by Air, and yeah, that would be it. Yeah, to be honest, like, I was really kind of emotional when the third party Twitter apps got canned, and like it hit me more than I thought it would. And then when I saw the basically the tombstone of Tweetbot, and then Ivory sitting over the Tweetbot, and stuff like that, like, I'll be honest, I was sad. That's 12 years. That's 12 years of applications that I've supported from an application that was great, and while Ivory is really amazing and stuff like that, like, I even had the Tweetbot logo as my Ivory on there, but I had to take it off because I was like, damn, this sucks. Like, and to be honest, I didn't use Tweetbot as much to tweet out, actually. Like, I used the Twitter application more, but I did read a lot because that's where I got my natural timeline with no ads and everything and stuff like that. So, but when I did tweet, I did a lot of tweeting from there because I used different applications to compose my tweets, like Draft and stuff like that, and then push it into the Twitter application. And I was able to use that with like shortcuts and stuff like that. So a lot of my tweets actually came from Twitter by iPhone, back when we had those days where it showed what application you used. But yeah. One of the things that I would like to see is MKBHD come to Mastodon. I think if we start getting some of these big influencers there, that will help push Mastodon along, and I think it's only a matter of time before we may see him on there. That would be really cool, though, I think. Because he was actually talking about it on his Waveform podcast, how he hates the Twitter app and can't use the Twitter app. Like, he used to reply to people, almost everybody that ever tweeted him. He used to go through his timeline and everything and stuff like that to see, in his mentions and all that and stuff like that, to read all the comments, and stuff like that. And he can't do it now. Like, literally, it's pretty much broken in his Twitter app. But he talked about that on the Waveform podcast. So, you should go check it out, though, because he basically talks about his frustrations with it. So if we saw that, or Casey Neistat come to Mastodon, or some of these other big influencers come there, then I think we could see some big growth there.
Got to be lucrative enough for them. I mean, got to remember MKBHD. His whole brand is a business for him. He'll stay on Twitter and use that Twitter client app as long as it stays lucrative for him.
No, definitely. I'm not saying he's going to leave Twitter, but if he came to Mastodon, like, that would be huge, and stuff like that. And, he was one that used third-party Twitter apps, and he's talking about the way it sucks, and stuff like that. So, I definitely could see him coming there. Like, I don't think he's going to give up Twitter because, that's where he gets his growth from too. But if he went over there and we started getting some of these bigger people over there, then yeah. But who knows? I mean, who knows honestly what's going to happen to Twitter next month? Like, they did make their first insurance payment today, I think it was, but who knows?
Everything
Like,
just changes every day.
Elon's going through a trial right now with the is it the FTC, or I don't remember what it is, but he's going through some trial right now. So
how many times did they change the verification? Like, what each verification means, and now there's the gold one and your profile picture square. Like, they change everything on like a daily. It's like,
do you want the gold verified icon? I can give it to you on Mastodon.
It's like we joke about when in a big mega corporation like Twitter, you think about, oh, one person can go in and change everything, but in reality, it should be you have to put in change requests and there needs to be approval and everything. Not with Twitter. They keep changing stuff like right away and everything just is constantly switching out. They took away the like where you tweeted from, the next day it was back and then it was gone again the next day, and it's just everything, just nothing is solid. It's
Well,
like
he
he's
said
never
it.
reminds
running it.
Well, and
it
there's the thing, like the Twitter app broke for a while, or not the Twitter app, the Android app broke for like almost like 3 hours or something like that. Like people weren't able to tweet. Like they've broken the Twitter app too. It just hasn't been, I think, as big as noticeable. But I mean, there's been some big, big things that have changed from there, and stuff like that. So
telling you, the way that Twitter is being ran right now, with things changing literally on a whim, reminds me of Donald Trump's presidency.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And here's the one thing that a lot of people are hoping, like, or probably Elon too, but some people are like wanting Donald Trump to tweet so that basically Twitter comes back to life. Some people feel like that might be the big push where it comes back to life. Most of those people are crazy people and stuff like that too, but I could see Elon waiting for that because that'll just push up his daily growth and stuff like that. But I one of the we've been talking a lot about how Twitter can fail. Twitter's going to fail if it doesn't have advertisers, because if it doesn't have advertisers, it's going to be like that. If Twitter falls, if Donald Trump comes back on and a bunch of these, racist people come back onto Twitter, we're going to see Twitter fall because advertisers are going to bail like they've already done. We've already seen it, we'll continue to see it, and Twitter's not going to make money. Like look at Donald Trump's platform. It's not making money because the advertisers are crap on there, and stuff like that. It doesn't make money. I read an article about that this week, like, that Truth Social, is whatever it's called, is in big financial ruins and stuff like that because they push so much money towards it, but they can't make money off of it. So definitely see that as an avenue for Twitter to fall. It could happen.
Yeah.
And when it does, everybody will be screaming to Mastodon, because there's been a lot of, like, Twitter clones or Facebook clones, and stuff like that. They just haven't picked up as much, and I just don't see it happening, so I see this happening a lot more. Chris Perillo, who's a big YouTuber, I mean, he's not as big as like a lot of YouTubers out there, but he's pretty active on Mastodon. Like I don't think he's on Twitter at all much anymore. He's pushing the platform really hard, and stuff like that. So definitely think we could see some bigger growth with some other YouTubers migrating over.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's run through our favorite Twitter clients, I guess, or not Twitter clients, Mastodon clients.
We need to update our personal cards there and change it to Mastodon handles from Twitter handles.
I was gonna bring that up. That's something.
Yeah, we do need to get rid of that. Yeah, I'll get some new ones made up. Yeah, I'll get those made up. We'll get those up next week, or next time we podcast. So I've been using Ivory. I've been using Ivory on the Mac just because I've been trying to stick with one client. Kind of been my one that I've come to, but I like Tim's been using Ice Cube. I really do like Ice Cube as well. Between those two, I've been kind of going back and forth. What about you, Roy?
Same. I've been mainly using Ivory, both on the Mac and on the iPhone. Before that, I was using Ice Cube as well. I also really liked Mona, which is made by the same people who make Spring for Twitter. I think the layout there is the UI is very intuitive. It gives you the option to quote a post, which is currently not available in Ivory. It's like the one thing I really want in Ivory. It's on the roadmap, so we're gonna get it eventually. Um, I think there was one other thing I wanted in um what was it? Oh, it's the ability to see like the post tree, you know, when you see like the post and the different quotes. That's I want to say that's also in Mona,
Mona, not
but
in
not
Ivory.
in Ivory. And I get why that is and isn't there, and it's part of, you know, the federated timeline, that thing that is Mastodon. It's possible, but you know, somebody could have their main posts, like the main poster could be hidden from people, and then people can post that, and that could be public. So there's whole reasons why that would work and why that wouldn't work. But I would love to see that come to Ivory as well. Basically, quoting posts and being able to see the whole post tree. But yeah, Ivory's what I've been using mostly. I do still have the Ice Cube installed on my Mac. I don't think I still have it installed on my iPhone. I think I'm mainly just using Ivory on my iPhone. Tried a couple other ones, Mammoth, Woolly, the actual Mastodon app. None of them are truly bad. It's just kind of finding the a UI that works the best for me, and Ivory seems to be it right now. Even though they're missing a couple features I really want, but it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be it's definitely going to be changed. The one thing that I do like about Ice Cube is as an open source application. You can actually go to GitHub and download the full source code for it. I've seen other people, tweet about, or not tweet, but post about what they've contributed. It's going to take a while for me to get that tweet out of my head, but I've seen other people post, and stuff like that, that what they've made. Somebody, I think, shared the share sheet icon that he made integration for it and stuff like that. So I like that it's open source basically, and other people are contributing to it. So how about you, Tim?
So I have been using Ice Cubes as my main one, just because that's the one you guys recommended that I download. So I haven't used any of the other ones. I really like Ivory. Like, I don't pay for it because I can't get myself to pay for it
I
yet.
gave you
Maybe
the 20
eventually.
bucks. I gave you the $20. You should push that towards the. You should.
Man, I used that $20 on Crocs. So, um, I, um, so I excuse me. Ivory is
Roy.
Ivory is gorgeous. Like, I absolutely love it. I don't use Mastodon enough to be able to justify paying for it. It's a beautiful app, and it's a really well built app. Um, However, Ivory lets you do lets you use it just for browsing. So that's literally all I do in Ivory. It's just browse, and I don't post a lot. So if I need to post something, I use Ice Cubes, and if I just want to browse, Ivory, and then if I want to like or favorite or boost, I switch to Ice Cubes.
Okay, I might send you the $16 subscribe to Ivory so that you can support them, because I really do want them. I really do want them to
I might
succeed.
use it on
And eventually,
Crocs.
you should support Ice Cube though if you really do use it, because so it's been kind of we have a text thread going, and it's kind of been a joke because I I wear Crocs, like they're easy to put on, walk out with the dogs, like go to the grocery store, that type of things. I have a
You know what
really
else
cool.
is easy to put on?
Hey! Shh! This is my time to speak about it. You can have your time. But anyway, so I have these really cool white pair of Crocs, and they have Star Wars. You can get little decoys for your Crocs, and so I have a bunch of decoys that are Star Wars on there and stuff. So, but I wear them everywhere. Like, I mean, they're comfortable, they're lined and everything and stuff like that. Um, I never thought I would wear Crocs, but I I tried them one time, and bam, like don't judge me. Like They're really comfortable.
So much judgment. So
So
much
we've been
judgment.
going through this. We've been going through this thread, and I guess Zoe bought a pair of Crocs or something, and so that kind of got us on the thing. And so anyway, so Tim over the weekend tweeted a picture of his purchase receipt from Crocs website, saying that it is time for him to purchase his first pair of Crocs. So Roy's kind of missing out. What about you, Joe? Have you ever wore Crocs?
Nope, not my vibe. I wear slippers if I'm at
Thank
home. I wear
you.
shoes outside.
Yes.
Not really my thing. No shame on
This
him
is
though.
You
this
don't
is
know
why he's
unless
my new best friend.
you don't know unless you try them. Like really, honestly,
A lot of people swear by him. They must be doing something right.
They are.
No,
I mean,
no. Don't give
hey,
him that.
they wouldn't be in business this long if they didn't. They're in like Nordstrom. They're in big retailers and stuff like that. I have the line pair, which has kind of a furry inside and stuff like that. Feels great when I go outside and take the dogs out and stuff like that.
Might feel great, but it doesn't look great.
So
here-
do you?
Here's the thing too. I'll let you get. Just let me say this last thing to Roy's just liking images. All right, but the best thing about them is they're so easy to clean off poop off the bottom of them because you can just throw them in the bathtub or whatever and just scrape off the poop.
Why
off
are
of
you
it.
stepping in poop? Watch where you
Because-
step.
I live in fucking Kirkland and nobody knows how to fucking pick up their damn poop. And when you're taking your dog out at 9:00 at night, to go poop, and you're trying to get her to poop, and she's just sitting there doing the poop dance, and you're trying to get her to poop, and then you finally just step in somebody's dog shit because they don't know how to pick up their own damn dog shit. Sorry,
I live in
Okay.
a house. I don't have to worry about that.
Tim, you're on.
So, um, so Heelys. What do you think about Heelys, Roy?
My take on Heelys is like my take on lightsabers. They're pretty awesome, but if I had one, I would completely hurt myself.
So I remember I went to I showed up at work at the time and this was back when I worked with Matt Carter and he he had Heelys. He
Matt
was like he he had Heelys and I was like, wait, they make Heelys for adult size? And he's like, yeah. So I'm like, no way. And so I was like contemplating buying some, and
You
then
should've.
he accidentally wore them to work one day. He was like, I'm not supposed to have them on, but I don't know where my other shoes are. So
You can take
stuck
the
with
wheels
these.
out though. You can just take the
Didn't-
wheels out.
I was like talking to some customer about a printer, and all of a sudden in the far back, Matt was in a hurry. I just see him wheelie past the the aisle like really fast. He was in a hurry or something, and I like couldn't keep a straight face talking with this like customer. Anyway, I ended up
Awesome.
buying Heelys, and they were cool like to use. I just kept falling, so I had to stop wearing them. But
They would
And that's why I won't buy a pair, because I know I'll get hurt.
they would have been perfect for when I was going out and catching shoplifters, because I was so far behind them, like I would I'd try to sneak up on them. Like there was this one time I was hiding behind a plant and I was waiting for them to come out, and then in the corner of my eye I'm just trying to peek out, and the shoplifter sees me, and so I was like, okay, that didn't work. And he came in and dumped or whatever and stuff like that. And I spooked the whole thing, and I got nothing but crap from my team about it. But so from that point on, like I always stayed far away, and I was always told to stay far away and stuff like that. But that's why we had a lot of people that fled from us, because when we got out there. But Heelys would have been so great. I would have been flying through there like, woo!
so
Nobody would have ever suspected that I was loss prevention.
I imagine. So picture this: you're on drugs, you're high, you go to the local store, you want to steal something, you go in, there's this man across the aisle, way down there with glasses. Suddenly he's just zooming towards you. Like he's not on, he's just zooming. He's not running, his legs aren't moving. He's just rolling his way towards you. That would freak me out so much. I would never come back to that store ever again.
One of the things that I used to do after that too is I had a fake backpack that I wore sometime, and it had nothing but like crap inside of it, but it was very light or whatever. So, but I would just wear that, and then nobody would ever think that I was loss prevention at that point. But I upgraded to like, plastic bags. I would go over and get plastic bags, and I would just shove like something in there, empty packaging or something like that, and I would just kind of carry that around as I was walking out, and yeah. So, anyways, but Heelys would have come in. Crocs
So-
would have been great too, but you can't run on Crocs.
You would have had to stop and put the backs down. All right, let's go. Let's go.
So I'll leave it on this. So my wife and I watch a show. It's called On Patrol Live. It's on like Reels or something. But we saw this epic police chase last weekend.
They had Heelys, didn't they?
No. So the dude was in a BMW, and this cop was in a I think it was a Chevy Malibu or something, or a Chevy Impala, and it had a maxed out engine or whatever. And anyways, the dude was like taking off from him, and this cop was like keeping up with him, like left and right. He was circling around, doing all these things. They got him pinned into, after 18 minutes of chasing him, they got him pinned into an apartment complex, and the guy had tried to ram him like 3 times, the cop, basically. And so finally they tried to pin him in. He got out of the pin or whatever, and then this unmarked detective or whatever just came over and smashed into the back of him and stopped him from leaving. But the dude got out and ran. Guess what he was wearing? Crocs. And guess what? We're sitting on the ground. Like, he was literally running barefoot because he lost his Crocs. So if you're gonna run from the police, don't wear Crocs. That's just
So really quick, Tim, here in front of everybody, you can just admit that you only bought those Crocs as a practical joke towards me, and it's okay. Like I forgive you. It was funny, haha. Just admit it.
No,
he
need.
bought him because he's gonna love them.
I've been in need of sandals for quite some time. I had a pair of sandals that I bought for Australia. They were great in Australia, but they don't work in the US because they fell apart.
Are they not compatible with the United States?
I don't know, but I need some good classic American compatible shoes, and nothing screams America more than Crocs.
That's not a good thing. You realize?
Yeah, that's what I was about
right?
to say. You're taking pride in something strange here, bud.
That's like saying. That's like saying, you know what? I love Twinkies. There's nothing more American than loving Twinkies.
Hey, I just want to wear my Crocs and go into Walmart. That's all I want to do.
There's like an entire website devoted to people at Walmart and Crocs.
What?
Yeah,
Hold on, is this real?
Let's
The people in Walmart, or whatever that website's called. People of Walmart.
Hey,
Have you
you
never been to that?
You never been to
No.
people at Walmart? Oh my god, it's funny.
I'm going to right now.
Tim, you and I need to meet up and take pictures with our Crocs on so we can send them to Roy.
Do some fashion modeling for Roy.
Yeah, definitely. Because every time I'm wearing my Crocs, I just take a picture of them and send them to him. I just put it in our group chat. But
We're gonna lose Tim tonight to the people of Walmart website.
What is this website?
Well, you've never heard of peopleofwalmart.com.
This before.
yeah, pretty entertaining.
Oh my God. What?
Now every one of his every one of his posts on Mastodon is going to be from people of Walmart.com.
The next 2 hours, our group text thread is going to be consistent of pictures of this website.
Dude, I gotta stop shopping at Safeway. This is where I need to go.
next month on people of Walmart.com is gonna, people of Walmart.com is gonna be Tim
And his Crocs.
and his car.
Look at this guy with Crocs.
I mean, I expect to see people in Crocs at Walmart. That's just like a given.
Yeah. Alrighty. I think we're at our hour, guys.
All right. This concludes the latest episode of the Gooplycast, where we talked about Mastodon versus Twitter. Thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate the company, and we hope we gave you a good laugh or some good insight. You can find us on gooply.com and on other social media platforms, including Mastodon. We have a Gooply Mastodon account. You can follow us there, and you can also follow our individual Mastodon accounts. We'll have these will be updated next week with our Mastodon usernames. I suppose I was your host tonight, Tim, from Matt, Roy, and Joseph. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time on the Gooplycast.
And you'll find Tim at Walmart wearing his Crocs.